Hare Krishna. So today we are starting the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We finished it yesterday. This chapter is the universal form, Vishwarupa Darshan. So I'll just share the screen. This is chapter 11. Krishna grants Arjuna divine vision and reveals his spectacular unlimited form as the cosmic universe. Thus, he conclusively establishes his divinity. Krishna explains that his own all-beautiful human-like form is the original form of Godhead. One can perceive this form only by pure devotional service. So Vishwarup is actually the universal form of the Lord, which is not the eternal form, but it actually signifies that how whatever we see in this world is nothing but is not separated from Lord's energy. So everything is resting in the Lord. That's what it signifies. But there is no eternal Vishwarupa form in the spiritual world like Krishna, Rama, Varha, Narasimha. So they're all like Rama, Krishna, Vasudev, Sankarshan. All these forms are eternal forms. The Vishwarupa form is a kind of imaginary form, which Lord just showed him that time. But so that shows that how everything rests in Lord. It's all the energy of the Lord in that way. So you can repeat this verse. Arjuna Uvacha. You can unmute and repeat. Arjuna
Uvacha
Madanuggrahaya Paramam
Anugraya Paramam
Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam
Guyam Adhyatma Samyatam
Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena
Yatyoktam Vachastena
Mohoyam Vigato Mama
Mohoyam Vigato Mama
Mohoyam Vigato Mama.
Mohoyam Vigato Mama.
Yeah. Robert, you'd like to read the translation?
Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled.
You read the purport as well?
This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of the Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the source of all incarnations. That has been completely explained in the last chapter. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. That means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as the source of everything. Arjuna is very enlightened and is glad that he is such a great friend as Krishna. But now he is thinking that although he accepts Krishna as the source of everything, others may not. So in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. Actually, when one sees the universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened, like Arjuna. But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into his original form. Arjuna agrees to what Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit. So Arjuna acknowledges that all this is happening to him by Krishna's grace. He is now convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as the super soul.
Yeah. So this chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of Mahavishnu, from whom material universe emanates. So we know there are three types of Vishnus: Mahavishnu, Garvadakshay Vishnu, Shirodakshaya Vishnu. So just to make it simple, the Mahavishnu from whom all the universes emanate. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is a further expansion of Mahavishnu, who enters into every universe as a Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and from his lotus navel, then the flower, lotus flower, Brahmaji is created. And then Brahmaji is the secondary creator for that universe. And that Garbhodakshaya Vishnu expands further into Shirodakshaya Vishnu, and he is the super soul in the heart of all living, and within the atoms also. And there is a planet called Shwetadeep planet, and then there is Shir Sagar. So Shirodakshaya Vishnu lies there also, but he expands. I mean, he is also all pervading as super soul in everyone's heart. So all these three Vishnus are nothing but expansions of Krishna only, because Krishna expands into Baladev, then Baladev into Sankarsha, Vasudeva, Sankarsha, Aniruddha, Pradyumna. Then Sankarsha further expands into Narayana, then Narayana expands into further quadruples, the second quadruple, Sankarsha, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Aniruddha, and then from there Mahasankarsana, and then further Mahavishnu. That's how it expands, you can see. So these are all one God only. Sometimes people think there are many gods. No, there's only one God. But they're all expansions of Krishna. So they're non-different in one sense. But their activities, their mood may be changing. Like a father may be at home, he has a certain mood and certain way of activity. Like he may be playing with his child and all that. But when he goes to office, he won't be playing with the child. Say he's an army officer. No, he'll not play there with his child. That activity he'll not do. There he will do activity of commanding, and taking the report, making strategy, things like that. So there the activities will be different, mood will be different. Same way, Lord also expands. Now, ordinary one person cannot be at home also and office also. But Lord is omnipotent, so he can be simultaneously present as Krishna, who is like at home, and he can also be simultaneously acting as a Vishnu, which is the cause of whom the whole universe is coming. So that's but when we can understand that, but original cause of even Vishnu there also is Krishna. That Bhagavatam explains, Ete samsa kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyani Vyakulam Lokem Hridayanti Yuge Yuge. So he says that Ete samsa kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So all the list of incarnation is given Srimad Bhagavatam, and he says that Krishna is Bhagavan Swayam, he says. That means he is the Supreme Lord himself. And in the and he incarnates, and different incarnations come at different times as Indra gets threatened by some demons attacking and all that. So that is why he says that he is the source of all incarnation. That has been completely explained in the last chapter. Now, as far as Krishna is concerned, because that verse is Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Idam, and then it says Ahutarishya Sarve, Devarshi Narada Sutta. No, before that, Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum, Shashwatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. So he says all that. How is Divyam Adi Devam? He's Ajam, unborn, and Purusham Shashwatam Divyam. He's Shashwat, eternal. Purusham, he's what kind of person? He's Shashwat Purusha. Shashwatam Divyam, and he is transcendental personality. So like that, it is mentioned about Krishna. That verse is there, 10th chapter. So he says that now as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. So illusion in terms of Krishna's supremacy is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as a source of everything. That understanding is there, right? So, and then he says, Arjuna is very enlightened and is glad that he has such a great friend as Krishna, but now he's thinking that although he may accept Krishna as the source of everything, others may not. So this universal form which is shown by Krishna is actually for the benefit of all the people of this world, because people of this world sometimes may not accept Krishna's supremacy, because Krishna may look like an ordinary human being. He is playing with covered boys, he's stealing butter. So sometimes people misunderstand Krishna's human-like activities, like that. So see, when say a great personality like say Prime Minister, President may come to someone's house and he may do simple activity, like he may also help in peeling the potatoes, he may clean, little bit, all that he may do. So it doesn't mean that he's not Prime Minister. That is his sweet will that he is doing like that. Or suppose Prime Minister goes to the jail, and he also, along with prisoners, he also eating. So imagine, and he also is helping them to do some work on the jail. It doesn't mean the Prime Minister has become a jailer, I mean, prisoner, no, like that. So Krishna may also come to this world, uh, as per his own sweet will, to perform various pastimes to attract the conditioned souls, so that he can reclaim them back to Godhead. So they can develop affection for Krishna by seeing his beautiful form, beautiful pastimes, because he is the original shelter of everyone. So that's why Krishna performed these beautiful pastimes. So, but so one should not deride his transcendental form, thinking that to be ordinary. So Arjuna is very enlightened, that is glad that he is such a great friend as Krishna, but now he's thinking that although he may accept Krishna's source of everything, others may not. So in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he's requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. So now he's requesting, okay, please show me universal form of yours. That's why he's requesting. And then actually when one sees the universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened like Arjuna. But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into his original form. So he just showed universal form, and devotees who are in love with Krishna, they may not want to see that form. Like just like child, he is not so happy to see his father's form as military officer and commanding and shooting and all that. He may not like that. He will like his father at home where he is in dhoti kurta or whatever simple clothing, and he is happy to climb on father's back and saying "Chal mere ghode, tick tick tick." He may say all that. So that is more pleasing to the child. So same way, the devotee of the Lord, they like Krishna's original form. They are not so much happy to see Krishna's universal form, and that way frightening. So Arjuna agrees to what Krishna several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit. So Arjuna acknowledges that all this is happening to him by his Krishna's grace, and he is now convinced that Krishna, the cause of all causes, is present in everyone's heart as a super soul. So on behalf of all the conditioned souls, Arjuna is actually clarifying Krishna's position. So not only in words, but also Krishna showed the universal form, so that anybody in the future coming and saying that I am God, we can request them. Okay, you are God. Can you show me universal form? So if they say, Baba, have this only this form, and this form also dies off after some time. So what kind of God he is? So nobody can portray himself as God, just like this incarnation and all that. So many bogus incarnations keep popping up. So that we should be careful. Yeah, because the first of all, the incarnations, whoever is going to be there, it's all mentioned in the scriptures first of all, and there are specific symptoms about certain incarnations, and also any the Lord's incarnation is there, so they also have to prove by their like Krishna has proved by Vishwarup Darshan. So if anybody is portraying like that, and we can ask him, show some Vishwarup Darshan, then we can talk about it. So nobody can cheat. Anybody who is intelligent and understands that how Supreme Lord is not some some kind of object of speculation, or anybody can just say that I am the Lord. No, that kind of things cannot be accepted. So yeah. So now next verse I'll read. एवमेतद्यथाथा त्वमात्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुमिच्छामि मे रूपे मेश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम. You can read further.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can read.
Yeah.
O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Purport. The Lord said that because he entered into the material universe by his personal representation, the cosmic manifestation has been made possible and is going on. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he is inspired by the ordinary person. Arjuna desires to see him in his universal form, to see how he is acting from within the universe, although he is apart from it. Arjuna addressing the Lord as Purushottama is also significant. Since the Lord is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is present within Arjuna himself. Therefore, he knows the desire of Arjuna, and he can understand that Arjuna has no special desire to see him in his universal form, for Arjuna is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. But the Lord can understand that Arjuna also wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criterion for the future. There will be many there would be so many imposters who would pose themselves as incarnations of God. The people, therefore, should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to the people.
Hmm. So this is clear. I already explained this point. He entered into material universe by his personal revelation, cosmology has been made possible as going on. Yeah. Yeah, we read text 2, yes. Oh, sorry, we did not read text 2. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Forgot it. We read the text 2 also. Yeah. Abbas, you can read.
Okay. O Lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Purport. Arjuna addresses Lord Krishna as lotus-eyed. Krishna's eyes appear just like the petals of a lotus flower out of his joy, for Krishna has assured him in a previous chapter, Aham Krishnasya Jagata Prabhava Palas Tat
Pralayas Tatha.
Pralayas Tata. I am the source of the appearance and disappearance of this entire material manifestation. Arjuna has heard of this from the Lord in detail. Arjuna further knows that in spirit, in spite of his being the source of all appearances and disappearances, he is aloof from them. As the Lord has said in the 9th chapter, he is all-pervading, yet he is not personally present everywhere. That is the inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjuna admits that he has thoroughly understood.
Mm. The Lord is also called lotus eye because Lord's eyes are very beautiful. And it's much more beautiful than any lotus of this world. But just to give us some understanding, so that's why this kind of what do you call it? Simile is being used. Upama, they say in Hindi. Out of which Krishna assured him in his chapter that I am the source of the appearance and disappearance of this entire material manifestation. Arjuna has heard of this from the Lord in detail. Arjuna further knows that in spite of his being the source of all appearance and disappearance, he is aloof from them. As the Lord says in the 9th chapter, he is all pervading. It is not personally present everywhere. There is an inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjuna admits that he has thoroughly understood. So basically, 9th chapter he says that I am in everything, but I am not in them. Everything rests in me, but I am aloof from them. Like that says. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina madasthani sarvbhutani naham cheshavasthitah. So everything rests on me. I am in them, but they are not in me. Something like that says. But still he is aloof. So how can it be like that? So we have discussed this elaborately before also. That Supreme Lord is actually the cause of all this material creation, and everything is under his control only. At the same time, the Lord is aloof, means he's detached. Everything is happening by his energy, and he is not affected by having any kind of attachment or he is not implicated by his creation at all. Like you see, anybody creates in this world anything, then he tends to become attached also, and then sometimes he gets entangled in his own ways because of his attachment and aversion within his creation sometimes. But Lord is not having that kind of thing because he remains always transcendental, and he can remain aloof in spite of everything is in him, but he can still be aloof from everything. So that is a specialty of the Lord. That's how this material universe looks like working automatically, but it's not working automatically. It's working under the direction of the Lord, by under the expert direction of the Lord. And material nature is having so many varieties of things like dynamics, seasons, creation, annihilation. It's all happening by the will of the Lord, under the sanction of the Lord. But Lord remains aloof, just like say it's a CEO of a company. So he has his creation, CEO of his company with company, but everything is so perfectly delegated. There is a director, there is a manager, there is a executive officers. Every department is so. So even if CEO is having Singapore, he is having his own picnic. He's chilling out. But his company is functioning very well like that. So he's aloof, though every activity is involved. So even in this world also you can see how people can make themselves aloof, even though everything is happening under their sanction. Nothing here and there can happen without their notice. At the same time, they can even aloof. So in this world also it is possible. So why not this Supreme Lord? So another thing we can learn from here is that, see, everything within the universe is actually happening under the sanction of the Lord. So one can become very sober, knowing that Krishna is sanctioning, all these different varieties of things happening in this world. So one will not become very much disturbed, by so-called ups and downs of this material world, because he knows Krishna is in control. Krishna is in control of everything. Nothing is out of control. Imagine, say everything is out of control. You go to a country, then you get so much scared. You say, "Arey, koi hai kya upar? Is there somebody on top? Somebody is there to control." So Krishna is in control of everything, and everything is within the jurisdiction of Krishna only. So if something is coming up in our life, ups and downs, so we have to know it is all sanctioned by the Lord. Without the sanction of the Lord, not the blade of grass moves. So there is a purpose to even upheavals also. There is a purpose to even ups and downs in life also. There is a purpose to reversals and calamities also. So one should know that there is a cause and purpose both. So that's why we understand the law of karma. We also understand the purpose is our purification. So there are so many ways we can actually understand it. But one should know that it is not haphazardly, randomly happening. Everything has a purpose. Like people sometimes say, "Arey, why even good people, like how the children are sometimes killed in the womb? Why even some people who have not done any sin still they are killed? Sometimes bad people flourish in this world." There's so many questions come up. Why do bad thing happens to good people? Why good thing happens to bad people? So it's all because of lack of understanding of this science, what's happening in this world. So when we don't understand the scriptures, then we don't know how Krishna has made this creation and why certain sufferings come and why one has to undergo the cycle of birth and death. All these questions are answered in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. So one can understand there is a purpose to it. That's why devotee of the Lord, one who is enlightened, one who is in knowledge, he doesn't get bewildered. Rather, he knows what way he should make the course of his journey so that he can sail through this ocean of material existence and can cross beyond it and attain the eternal place of happiness, bliss, and knowledge. So that is possible for a devotee because he can take shelter of the Lord. That's what Lord says that Tesham aham samuddartham vitu samsara sagarat. He says, I become a swift deliverer of a devotee who takes my shelter. So one can come out of this entire mess of this material world by taking shelter of the Lord. So Lord is in control. So if you take shelter of the Lord, he can rescue you. That's a good news for us. So this third verse also we read. So I'll read only till 7:30 today. So let's read this one. Manyase yadi rakshakvam maya dashtumati prabho yogeshwara tato me tvam darshayatmanavavyayam. Yeah, you can read if you think. Srinivasan, would you like to read? Okay, Poonam Mataji, would you like to read?
Yeah, Professor. Hare Krishna. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of my all mystic powers, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. But it is said that one can neither see, hear, understand, or nor perceive the Supreme Lord Krishna by the material sense. But if one is engaged in loving service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. Everything entity is only a spiritual spark. Therefore, it is not possible to see or to understand that the Supreme Lord. Arjuna, as a devotee, does not depend on his speculative strength. Rather, he admits his limitations as a living entity, and knowledge is Krishna's inestimable position. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity, it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite.
That's a beautiful statement. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. Yes.
The word Yogeshwara is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace. Although he is unlimited, therefore Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrender fully in Krishna consciousness, engage in a devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for person who depend on the strength of their material speculation to see Krishna.
We'll read just one more purport. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Paschame Partha Rupani Shatashota Sahasrashaha Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kritani Cha. So, can read. Virat, we can read.
Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulence is hundreds of thousands of varied, divine, and multicolored forms." Purport: Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which, although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly, this universal form of Krishna is manifested and non-manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as a devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form, but because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it.
Yeah. The sixth also I just read. Pashyaditya Sundra Nishano Marutasada Bahine Dashta Purvani Pashyascharyani Bharata. Avatpuri can read.
O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Asvini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Purport. Even though Arjuna was a personal friend of Krishna and the most advanced of learned men, it was still not possible for him to know everything about Krishna. Here it is stated that humans have neither heard nor known all these forms and manifestations. Now Krishna reveals these wonderful forms.
Yeah, so in this, you can see this purport was so vital. There it says that one cannot see, hear, understand, or perceive Supreme Lord by material senses. That's it. That's why it is okay. One of the name of the Lord is Adhokshata. He's beyond the perception of mind and senses. And our material mind and senses are having avidya, ignorance. It's affected by ignorance and it's material. So it cannot perceive anything spiritual. But there is a way to perceive it. How? Sevan mukhe jivado swayam vaisvatiyadaha. So it says, Atha Shri Krishna namadi na bhavet grayam indriyahi. By a dull material senses, you cannot perceive the transcendental name, form, qualities, past tense of the Lord. Sevan mukhe jivado swayam vaisvatiyadaha. By rendering devotional service to the Lord reveals himself to you, and that's how you can perceive. This is how the way we can understand the Supreme Lord. So, but if you engage in loving transcendental service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. That's what he says. So, and then say every living being is only a spiritual spark. Therefore, it is not possible to see or to understand the Supreme Lord because we are very tiny. Arjuna, the devotee, does not depend on his speculative strength. So many people speculate about God. I think God must be like this. God is like that. As per my opinion, this. But what is the value of our opinion? We are so tiny. And I say, as per me, the Trump is like this, like that. What is she cannot perceive what is president, what is Trump. Nothing she can perceive. So the same way we are so tiny. So only by the Lord, when He reveals, then we can understand. So the devotee does not depend on his speculative strength. Rather, he admits his limitations as a living entity and acknowledges Krishna's inestimable position. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity, it is not possible to understand the infinite, unlimited infinite. And if the infinite, that means the Lord, reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite, as the Supreme Lord, by the grace of the infinite. The word Yogeshwara is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders, but he is pleading, requesting, praying, surrendering to Krishna. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotion. So we have to have that mood of humility and submission and surrender to the Lord. And then Krishna is pleased with our service, then he is happy to reveal himself. So just like any great person also in this world, he will reveal the right to reveal about oneself, it reserves to that person only. Correct? No? What do you think? Suppose somebody approaches you, if you are able to trust that person, if he is working for your welfare, like say your intimate friend, your mother, father, your siblings, so you may talk about yourself to them because you trust them, because they are your devotee. They are your devotee means they are devoted to you. They are actually wanting to please you, serve you. They're well-wishing friend of yours. They're well-wishers of yours. Then you don't mind, revealing about you more and more to that such people. No, but somebody comes, no, he has no interest in you, but he's interested in your pocket only. He wants your money, he wants your benefit from you. Then you will not reveal about yourself much, right? You have that right not to reserve, you can reserve that right. So same way Krishna also has a right to reveal it to himself to somebody else, not to not reveal it. So, but somebody who's become devotee, Krishna automatically reveals himself to that person. Because Krishna is very pleased by his sincere love and affection and devotion to him. Krishna will automatically reveal. So Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. It is not possible for a person who depend on the strength of their mental speculation to see Krishna. So we cannot, that's why Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur would say, don't try to see Krishna, try to serve Krishna in such a way Krishna wants to see you, God wants to see you. Like that. So sometimes people say, let God come and show me first, then I will believe in him, then I will start serving. No, but Lord says, no, first you start serving, then you will be able to understand Lord more and more. And it's true. Like if you want to connect to somebody in this world, so you have some kind of attitude of selfless way you can approach that person. Some way. You have to think of his benefit or his service, or you have to have some kind of selflessness. Then the person is happy to share some things about him. Otherwise, if you are only business like, then you only act as a business like only. So same way, if you are only interested in Krishna's material energy, then Krishna's material energy only through material energy, Krishna will deal with us. So we don't understand Krishna's personal form much. So I'll pause here. Any reflection? Yes. Yes, Abbas, we can share.
I think one thing for me is the last thing, like we have to completely surrender ourselves to Krishna. And only then, like it can't be like thinking for us, like, oh, if I do this, then I will have mental peace, or then I will like not do bad things or anything like that. It has to just be like complete surrendering to Krishna and only for Krishna.
Yeah. Yes. So when we come with, and it's a gradual thing, we always have this, as conditioned soul, we have some nature to hold back. We don't want to surrender. But at least we take some steps of surrender. Like now you started chanting Hare Krishna. That is an act of surrender. You're hearing the Bhagavad Gita. This is an act of surrender. So this is how we slowly and gradually increase our surrender to Krishna. And as we increase our surrender, we make sacrifices for Krishna. Then Krishna also reveals himself more and more. Then we can experience the joy of Krishna consciousness more and more. We can experience Krishna's shelter, Krishna's protection, Krishna's affection, Krishna's love. We can experience, and that's how our life becomes sublime. And then we are inspired to surrender more and more also. So we have to take some steps first. Yes, some baby step we have to take at least. Yes, Arya Prabhu and Srinivasan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, no, I think my reflection is like, you were saying like, oh no, we're so small. So like that's one thing I think of is like, I was watching the Mahavatar Narsimha movie. Like when I watched it, one of the scenes was Hiranyakashipu growing to like be bigger than the size of like the entire universe, and then the Lord grew bigger than him and just held him in his hand. So that just shows like how small and how irrelevant we are in comparison to the Lord.
Insignificant, yeah. Like a small ant in the crack. It tries to find out the how this America got developed, or and what's happening in India. Wants to find out. Tries to find out about the Prime Minister Modi's personal life. What he likes, what he doesn't like. What can she ant understand? It's a small ant in the crack, stuck there. We are very insignificant. Hundreds and millions and millions of universes. We are one of the material universe we are in. And like that, there are just a spiritual world also. Spiritual world is much bigger than material world also. So very insignificant. So that's why Namanta Eva. So we have to become submissive and humble. Then we can begin devotional service, and then we can begin to understand Krishna by Krishna's grace. Srinivasan Prabhu. Poonam Mataji.
Yes. Everything happens with the mercy of Krishna. when we are fully surrendered to Krishna and we start our devotional services, then we can understand Krishna and he reveal in front of us. So we have to surrender fully and start doing devotional service and
Yeah, correct. Then Krishna,
this.
what is your reflection?
Submission is hard, but once we try to submit ourselves, we can understand Krishna and how great he is.
Yeah, correct. And submission begins with Sevan Mukha Jivadu. Begin with chanting, hearing, like what you're doing now. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishwasvanam. So we are taking already the step. So when we continue that and increase the quantity and quality of surrender, so then as we become more devoted to the Lord is happy to reveal himself more and more. Okay, let us pause here. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. You want to say something, Srivasam Prabhu?
No, it's the same thing, Prabhuji. Like we should not try to see Krishna just out of whimsically, out of our own whim, but rather we should try to get Krishna's mercy by our sincere service to him.
We should not try to see Krishna whimsically yourself, right? No?
Right. We should serve in such a way that Krishna would be willing to see us.
Yeah, and happy to reveal us himself.